Hello everybody, we have another video to talk about things that are going to supplement our extended guide series, and today we're going to be talking about how we get clues throughout all of the colors. Yay! Seekers, yes, they get clues, but so does everybody else. And let's dive in, because we have a few cards to talk about. And we're going to start by comparing the 6 one-hand assets that are predominantly for Seekers, like 5 of the 6 for Seekers.
That fit this.
Yeah. And then we have flashlight, magnifying glass, fingerprint kit, cryptographic cipher, seleno fragments, and Hawkeye folding camera. So I'm going to be going back and forth between these two slides as we discuss. And Travis, I'll let you take it away here because this is you.
Yeah, so of these 6, you're probably, when you're playing a Seeker, you're probably going to be playing some number of these. And they all fill different roles. Well, they all fill yeah,
it is, okay.
They all fill like the same role, but they do it differently. They have different advantages. The first one is not actually Seeker cards, Flashlight, which is still like solid enough to hold its own. This one I like as like sort of a supplement to the others. It gives you a bigger bonus on your investigation than like a magnifying glass does, which is more important if you're heavy on cards like Deduction that care about how much you succeed by. It can also be relevant in like splash yellow characters like Trish. So Flashlight's like a good place to start, and if you ever feel like you want another one of this effect but you're not sure which one, Flashlight's just a good choice. Mm-hmm. Magnifying glass is like the bread and butter one. It's fast. It costs the least. It doesn't cost you an action. You just get +1 while investigating. You don't get the +1 book other places. It doesn't give you anything else fancy. It's just +1 to the stat when you're using it, and it's like a good one.
Yeah, that's why it's so cheap, because it just does the one thing. Yeah.
Well, not one time, but every time.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
That one thing.
Yeah, one thing.
And this is like the one that I usually start with in my deck, and then I think about whether I want something over it. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Fingerprint Kit. This one costs 4, which is considerably more than 1. It also has limited uses, only 3 supplies. And when you investigate, you get the +1 book that Magnifying Glass gives you, but also if you succeed, you get an additional clue. So this one basically has it's 3 deductions for 4 resources. You can use it once per turn, which like sometimes matters, but most of the time doesn't. Mm-hmm. You want this one over the Magnifying Glass if you don't have other ways to spend your money, really. It's very good with like level 2 deduction, where you can get a full 4 persons worth of clues off of 1 action.
Yep.
That's very strong. This one is a little tough to use because generally you want to be spending your resources on other things, but it's like a fine choice for skill-oriented Seekers, such as Minty Fan. I like it a lot in. Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
The only thing I know about this one for sure is that for some reason, Bryn is cursed with it. Every time I've seen you do this one, you're like, oh, it's the autofail, huh? Okay.
Pretty much.
Waste my money.
Every time I see this, I can't help but kind of laugh about how much worse it is than the 45. Mm-hmm. Like, as direct comparison, because they are so similar.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, like, why play this? It doesn't even do anything. You pay 4 money, 3 actions, and you get nothing.
We're going to skip over cryptographic cipher for a minute, because that's the most complex one to evaluate, in my opinion. We have the seleno fragments. This one is good if you're playing hand size, and if you're not, you shouldn't play it. Mm-hmm. I guess unless you really, like, if you're just playing, like, Dunwich, and you're playing, like, higher education deck, this is fine. It's like the magnifying glass, and you exchange the fast for like having +1 book for non-investigation actions. Yeah, and that's solid. But other than that, it's like generally a worse magnifying glass. Great if you can get the 15 more cards in hand, like +2 book and +1 brain. You can also only have 1 copy of it in play, unlike all the others on this list, which is a little bit of lost utility there. But you usually won't play alongside one of the others. We have Hawkeye folding camera. This one gets better at, you don't get the book until you have 2 or more evidence on it, which can take a little bit of time. So this one I find is best in like 5 book investigators as a way to like sort of extend your lead.
Or an investigator that like
Cares
also
about
is
the
using
brain.
the brain too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is also a solid choice for like Norman Withers or Luke Robinson. The +1 brain is like just kind of always useful as well because you use the brain. It's the same reason guts is good.
Yeah.
You know, +1 brain's good. The +1 sanity is pretty negligible in most cases. This one I find is best for like if you have someone else in the group who can also get clues. It's a little bit tough to get going with because you don't get the book until you've already cleared 2 locations worth of clues off. Which, like if you're playing solo or even with 2 people, that could be all the clues you need to advance your objective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for that one you really have to care about the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
in
you
that
don't,
case.
Yeah. Just get one of the
take
other
a different,
options.
yeah, different choice, different.
No, it depends what role it is, right? If you care about the brain,
Yeah,
It's
yeah, but
good.
if you don't care about the brain,
then having the brain is fine. Like you always kind of care about the brain because like if I just told you get +1 brain for an entire game, why you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think if you
Yeah,
don't
but
care
this
about the
isn't-
brain, but you need like the
Yeah.
book, you want to grab the other things. Is
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. No. I agree with that. That like if you need the book to get the clues, then you want one of the other ones.
Yeah.
But if the book is a bonus to scale further into the scenario, this one's fine.
Yeah, like once again, like this is an easy thing for like Gloria Norman. Gloria can't run it. Never mind. Listen to that. She can do assets too, can't she?
No.
No, just events and skills.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, you're thinking of Mary Lumbo.
Yes, which also is still good for her there. Yeah.
This one also functions very well alongside other ones where you can use a magnifying glass to push yourself up to 6 if you're playing 5-book investigator, and then later you get the bonus of the brain in addition to a 7-book.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this one is best if you are an off-yellow investigator.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you've got somebody else on your team who's actually there to hoover up the clues. And you're
Yeah, and
kinda
you're just like taking
"Hey."
pictures as it's going. Oh yeah, heck yeah.
And the last one we have here is Cryptographic Cipher. This one is weird and pretty narrow. So it only has 3 uses on it. You can either, as a lightning bolt, exhaust it and spend a clue to investigate, giving your Shroud plus your location +1 Shroud this investigation. Or as a normal action, exhaust it and spend a secret to investigate, giving your location -2 Shroud for this investigation. So if you're using it for the second ability, this is like a worse flashlight, unless you have some kind of
every possible way.
unless you have some kind of secret synergy. But yeah,
Or you're
like, it's pretty
playing
bad
with
in
like
that case.
old school untabooed Dr. Milan, and you're like, I'll take 4 resources this turn. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But the other one is the lightning bolt effect is like the one that you're really playing this for, where it basically gives you an extra action 3 times, provided that you can investigate a location with an extra shroud, which is so there's 2 kinds of investigators one can fit into, either people who want the extra investigate action and who can pass that +1 shroud test, so probably 5-book investigators, or people who want to abuse the non-action investigation, so mostly Trish.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, anyone with a high book score, though.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but this card was designed for Trish. You should try it in her.
It's like alright.
Yeah. It is good. It's
3 money's
better,
a lot.
especially if
Yeah,
you
free
have...
money is a lot.
It is a lot, but like 3 free evades, so it's like...
Yeah, they're not free, though, because you only have 4 book and you do have to pass the +1 test.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, but
Just
you,
save your
you
perception.
gotta,
But
you
like,
gotta do it.
but now my hand's holding this. So you need to like, if you're, I think with Cryptographic
Yeah.
Cipher, you also want to do this like, kind of like with Hawkeye, where it's like it could be like in addition to something if that's the thing. It's like you can hold this and then hold
Yeah.
something else in your other hand that helps you.
You
Yeah,
probably don't want this to be your only option
Yeah.
to help you get clues.
Yeah.
So in summation, you should play either Magnifying Glass or Flashlight. And then Fingerprint Kit if you have excess money or playing like a high skill deck. If you have a way to abuse Lightning Bolt ability, you should play Cryptographic Cipher if you alongside one of the other options. If you're doing hand size, you should play Selena Fragments. And if you care about the brain and or like the secondary clue getter, you could play Hawkeye Folding Camera.
All right. Next one here was we got a nice, simple work and a hunch. This is just fast. 2 resources. Discover a clue your location only during your turn. Obviously, it works better for, you know, like, you can play it for free with Joe Diamond, play it for 1 less with Norman Withers, as we saw today.
In Trish, you can play it and stick in the crystallizer for 2 book layer.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you
And
can
a
do with
free
this.
invade.
Yep. Or an extra clue.
That just works. It just works really well. Just
Yeah.
it'll do
In most yellow decks, it's like a little bit pricey for what it does, but when it's good, it's good.
Yeah, when you can take advantage of it in other ways too.
Yeah, there are. It does also definitely increase in value the further into a campaign you are, because you know, you're going to be seeing more locations where they're like, you got to get all the clues off this one, and it's got 6 shroud, and you got to figure that out, and you're just like, give.
Or like locations that are like negative effect for
Yeah.
investigating.
Yeah.
It depends which investigator you're playing. Like if you're playing one of the high book investigators, when you get to scenario 7, they're like, it's got 6 shroud, and you're like, good, I have 10 book, and I'm getting through clues with this investigate action. And the game's like, okay.
Sag. All right, next one up we got here is deduction. Just gives you more
Put
clues.
it in your yellow
Yeah.
decks, please.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter which one of us you ask.
yeah.
This card is good.
It's just good.
I think it's good because I have to spend less actions investigating.
Which Travis likes it because he has to spend less actions investigating.
Yeah, I like it when I get lots of a thing at once. The
Yep.
number is big, it feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Roll up to a location, the game's like, this is going to take you 3 actions. You like commit to deduction, and you're like, nope.
Yep. No, it won't. No, it
We're
won't.
done.
Next one here is we got art student. She is kind of like the work and hunch, but not fast, and comes with some soap, which I think is like a
It's a fine choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty real.
Yeah, there's some niche builds you can play with, like calling in favors that are pretty fun with her. Or with like the Miskatonic University Expedition thing.
Yep. Yeah. I
She's
think,
like she's just a fine choice.
yeah, she's fine. Yeah, she's not like flashing, and you can do less with her than you can with work and hunch, but she can still get the work done. Next one here is we got True Understanding. This is a skill. It's committed to a skill test from ability printed on a scenario card. If it's successful, discover 1 clue of your location. The best way to know what that is, it's basically not like,
It's a card that doesn't start your deck.
yeah, or like not like a basic investigate action or something like that. So like if a location requires you to make a test, you can use True Understanding, a treachery
Any
card.
test that's printed on a card that didn't start in your deck.
Exactly, yes. So it's just good, especially in skill-based investigators, being able to pass a Mythos card while also getting a clue. It's
Or
kind
if
of
you're
nice.
playing one of the investigators who, I mean, like it doesn't have to be you. You can just commit it to someone else's who happens to have high brain. You're just like, here you go, Mystic. You can test at 7 or whatever. And they're like,
And they're like, I'll draw the autofill. And you're like, you!
how could you do this to me?
Yeah. Next one here, we got Stirring Up Trouble. This one, it's add cursed tokens to the Gauss bag utility your your location's shroud value, and then you just discover 2 clues of your location. So test those clues at a cost that's your other people are going to draw at the table.
It's Travis's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something I need to concern myself with.
Yeah.
No, card's just good.
Card's just good.
Cheap experience. It's flexible. You can use it to save actions on low shroud locations for not much of a
Yeah.
not much cost, or you can use it to scum clues off of a big shroud location.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite card designs they've printed recently.
I agree.
It fits so well into the yellow curse archetype too.
Yeah. We're going on to the more yellow cards. We have extensive research.
It's the
on
clue
this.
video. The background's yellow, man.
No, sorry, I just missed the. I was like, all right, next one in my head was evidence. Then I
Okay.
saw it, and I was like, oh wait, no, we're not there yet. So this one is reduce the cost to play extensive research by 1 for each card in your hand. 12 for the level 0, 10 for the level 1. It's just discover 2 clues of your location. So if you're looking at this as like you're holding 6 cards in your hand, and you have the level 1 one. It's now costing 4. If you're holding 8, it now costs 2, which is like really juicy, right?
What? I mean, it costs 4 if you have 6 cards in your hand. It'll cost you 6 for the level 0 one.
Oh, I'm not talking about the level 1.
Oh, level 1.
Yeah, because I'm not playing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to upgrade into level 1 right away.
I mean, yeah, like,
Yeah.
so that 2 money cost doesn't seem like a big thing, but, like, for one
It is.
experience, it's huge.
It's like it's 2 cards in your hand, essentially, right?
Depends on how many mushrooms you're taking.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. You know, this card rarely shines in the big hand archetypes, especially, like, Farsight. And also, Joe Diamond plays this card quite well, where you're just spelling your money, playing powerful insights out of your Hunch deck, and then your hand just has other cards in it, and you flip this up, and you just, I'll take my clues, please.
It could even be good in, like, big hand Norman Withers. You just get an extra -1.
Any big hand deck,
Yeah.
this is an all-star. Even commits for 2 books. Like, you're fine to just sit there and hold it in your hand and, like, have it be cards
Yeah.
until you need it. You show up to a location, and you're like, give me 2 clues, and then you
You're
pay
like-
1 for a second copy, and then you, like, pay 4 more resources for 2 working hunches, and you're like, I got 6 clues with 2 actions and no tests.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going into the Guardian cards. We are out of Seekerland, and we are on to Evidence, which is the Guardian way of getting clues, a very common one, which is after you defeat an enemy, discover 1 clue your location. The upgraded one is 2 clues if you defeat enemies with a combined total of at least 4 printed health this turn. It's just,
We don't ever play this card, but don't let that trick you. This card's pretty good.
yeah. Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, we just don't play it because we have 3 people and roles are usually set.
Yeah, one of us is going to show... If someone's playing a blue investigator, they're probably not... They don't care about being a flex roll. They're like, I'm going to kill monsters. And someone else is going to be playing a purple or a yellow investigator who will be getting all of the clues.
Yeah, yeah. But especially like if you're playing two-handed or 2 players, this one is really good to even just have as 2 of. I mean, you can't have more than that, but just like put 2 of them in your deck for those slots, because sometimes as the goon, you're just like, there's nothing to do, and then an enemy comes, and now you can help and make up for those turns where you're like, I guess I'll draw a card. I guess I'll gain a resource, right?
I mean, in some of the blue investigators, it's just nice too. Like in
Yeah.
Roland or Mark, you can commit this to pump your book up enough to actually get a clue if there's no monsters available.
Yeah, but then you don't feel like you're flexing on the game. It's
No.
not, it doesn't have that same rush.
No, the thing I like about this one is just the idea that the evidence you're picking up, it was also just created by you in the murder you just committed.
Well, speaking of a murder you just committed, Brent,
Bland.
what about this scene of the crime?
No, the scene of the crime. So this one's like, it's part of a bold archetype that they don't really seem to be putting anything new into these days, which is fair. It's fairly limited space, I suppose, where you can only play bold effects as your first action, or they punish you for playing them later. This one is discover a clue at your location, or 2 clues if there is an enemy at that location. The action doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. The great part about this one is that the crime is the one you're about to commit.
Yeah. And then you find the evidence from that crime, and you're like, jackpot.
Someone killed this fish man.
Yeah, you're playing Roland, and you're like, I think somebody got killed here.
Wiping the blood off the machete. What a tragedy.
Yeah, the fish guy's like, oh no, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You're loading bullets into your 38. Like,
Well, a poor little fish guy. Poor little fish guy.
you shoot him and you're digging the slug back out, and you're like, yep,
Yeah, he was shot.
it's a match.
Yeah, this is another one that we don't play that much here because, once again, of the investigator roles that we all usually just like go hard into. But I think it's still
It's
just
very
it's
powerful.
very good. Very good.
If I'm playing like a blue clue card, this is usually the one I go for over evidence, personally.
Yeah. If I'm playing a flex investigator who has access to level 0 blue, I probably want to play this
Yeah,
card.
this is pretty high on the list.
It's like real good.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Grete Wagner.
This is Roland.
It's Roland. It's also
On a
like
stick.
it's like even like evidence on a stick, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just you get +1
Yeah.
fist, which you're going to be doing anyway, and the other one gives you +1 book, which
So-
actually can be relevant, like as you said, for like
For Roland in
even
particular.
Mark. Yeah, but Mark has other things he can be doing too.
So
Like-
how cool is this card in a deck that can play bandages?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Like,
Tom Muldoon's got like a book score.
yeah, right.
It's Tom Muldoon.
I mean, Tommy Muldoon, Daniela Reyes can also do this, but she can only play the level 0 version, not the level 2 or the level
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And has to
That
spend
doesn't-
some of her level 0 red cards on bandages.
Yes.
Although,
Which I actually don't think
admittedly-
it's not bad. I don't think it's bandages actually.
Bandages are they bring
That's
the
what you're
noise.
trying to do. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, the upgrade one's not worth that much for her. You get like +1 book, which brings her up to like what, 2?
Yeah, you also get an additional use out of her.
Yeah, but if you're playing the bandages, it's like
and the location can be connecting.
Oh yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty
which
good.
is like
nice,
kind
yeah.
of big.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's fair.
Yeah. But also the nice thing about this is that the investigator in question does not actually need to exist, because it could be one of you playing Greta while the other one plays bandages. The bandages
Yes.
do not need to be owned by
Yep.
the player playing the Greta. He said, derailing the discussion.
No, I agree. I
just
love
cool.
bandages.
It's cool.
There, yeah.
I think that card is
There's no
that card's
bandage
real
review
neat.
video.
Yeah. No, that's good. We have our bandages podcast coming up. Brendan and I have been writing notes for that one. All right. Next up, we're going on to the rogue cards. We have Lockpicks. Brian, why is this one like? Why is this bust rogue getting clues wide open?
So in
But
the,
not I mean one a turn.
Made it possible.
yeah, in the before times, for likely many of you who have not been playing since Dunwich Legacy was the only expansion in the game, rogues, their good thing was that they had big foot, and their cards were expensive as hell, and that was what they did. Neither of those things are inherently good on their own. Lockpicks was one of the first cards to come out that was like, you want to use your foot score for a thing, kid? And kind of just started to give Rogue like an option to play the game.
Yeah.
Really, like before that, you were just like, either I'm blue but I'm shit, or I'm yellow but I'm shit, or I'm red but I don't play cards or do anything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, just my
That's
stats
cool.
are bad.
Yeah, just like with bad numbers and bad cards.
Yeah.
And that was what you did. That was what you did.
I mean, like Jenny got to do things. Just
Yeah,
at,
Jenny
like, a
got to
premium.
do things just like not great, but
Yeah.
she got to pay for expensive things easily.
Yeah.
Which
That was Green's like
Yeah.
early identity, really.
yeah. But this one like brings a whole lot of flexibility to the game, right? Because if you're adding two numbers together and you're not succeeding by at least two, either the thing was really tough or something weird happened to
Using
you.
your brain.
Or you were using your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that scares.
Yeah, you do have to exhaust them, which is like entirely fair. If you didn't, they would be kind of busted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Like probably better than many yellow cards.
Yeah.
They can make it fair if they were
But-
like, if you don't succeed by at least 4, discard it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, in that case, yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah. Just if you're playing green and you want to get clues, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
just easy choice.
There's
just
there's a couple of investigators who are green and have an absurd foot score and also a serviceable book score.
yeah.
it's actually a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
not
like not
Tony.
Tony Morgan and not Preston because he's not good at anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of good green cards getting clues, because that's what this video is right now, we have Lola Santiago. She gives you book and foot.
The green thing
That
says
said that
things
matter.
on Lockpick.
Add them
Wow.
together.
Yeah.
This plus 2.
And you can now just spend your money to buy clues. It doesn't even cost you an action. It's very powerful. One of the strongest like allies up there.
Yeah.
Lola Santiago is she's a no-nonsense archaeologist, and she'll fucking
She's
do
here
it.
to win.
Yeah, she's like,
She's just here to
I'm
win
not
the
here
game."
for your janky
No.
shit. Let's get some clues.
Well, I mean, she does. She shows up. She's like, "Give me all your money, and I'll give you clues."
Yeah.
You're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
with my cool things, nope, just clues.
Well, part of the really cool part about her is that yes, there are high shroud locations, and that will drain your money pretty quick. But also, that might be really tough. They might be really tough to investigate, and many locations in the game are like, they ask you to get all the clues off them, and they're like, the gate here is that there's like 9 clues on this location. Shroud's only 2 though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Shroud's one. and
Yeah, yeah, and you're just like, cool, let's go.
Extra action every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a working hunch.
Plus,
every
she's a
turn.
2/2 soak.
Yeah.
It's pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up here is Intel Report, which is if you have money, why not just buy
And
clues?
this is a
Yeah.
green card, man.
Yeah. This one, like, so it's part of a vertical cycle, but we're not going to get into that.
They do suck.
Yeah, so like you pay 2, you get a clue. You can pay 4 to get 2 clues, or you can pay 4 to get 1 clue at 2 locations away from you, or you can pay 6 to do all of those things.
Very good card.
Yeah, this one's not as versatile as pretty much anything that we've covered before this. Like if you want this, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
You will know.
I think that most level 0 green decks
Yeah.
would be better adding this into their deck than not. But
Yeah, like the thing about it
Not
is
all
that
of
it's
them,
like
most of
it's
them.
very expensive, and you have to have a plan to pay for that.
Yeah.
so you can just
And, like,
throw it
be
like a
paying-
book test
be
for
paying for
someone else
things
if
like
you don't have the
this.
money.
Yeah, like it does
just-
commit for 2 book.
The biggest thing is just clues. It's unconditional clues if you
Yeah.
need them.
Yeah.
This one does some vaguely degenerate things in some scenarios that were not designed with it in mind because it didn't exist. Such as the final part of the Dunwich cycle, where
Yeah.
locations leave the game when there are no clues on them, shunting everything back to that was there back to the central location. And normally they intend for you to be there also when that last clue is discovered, but with intel reports sometimes you're just like, I have some intel, and the intel is that this goon, he's way back at the start, he's got to try again.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah.
So there are some really neat things you can do gaining clues at locations that you are not at.
Very good card.
Next up here, Brandon, I'll pass it. It's Pilfer.
Oh man. So Pilfer, again, you're gonna know when you want to be playing this card. It costs 4 to play, both level 0 and 3, and that's a lot of money to play for a one-shot effect. However, this one-shot effect is an investigate where you get to use your foot instead of your book, which, if you're playing a green character or even a character who can play green cards, is probably a very good thing for you. And if you succeed, you discover 2 additional clues at your location. 3 clues is like a lot of clues, man.
Yeah.
4 is a lot of money to pay. The difference between the level 3 and the level 0 is that the level 3 says that if you succeed by 2 or more, you get to return Pilfer to your hand at the end of the turn.
It's good if this is what you're
Yeah,
planning
yeah,
to
like
do.
if that's-
but if you
that's-
want to do other things,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like
you're
there,
gonna yell, real
I've-
strong economy.
I've played a Chuck Fergus deck with this, and it was the truth. I got to play it for 2 and fast,
I wonder if
and it
even
was just like cool.
this with the 3-class assets for
Yeah.
tricks would also be
Yeah.
pretty juicy. And him and Chuck.
If you're playing Rita Young,
Yep.
this card is your best friend.
Was that the campaign that you like didn't get Chuck
Oh.
till the scenario like 4
Yeah,
because your deck
it
didn't
was
do anything
tough.
without Chuck?
It wasn't like so much that as it was nobody else cared about victory as much as I did.
Yeah.
You're like, please.
And I was like, okay, my cards are all expensive and bad right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's head on over to the Mystics, and we're going to start with just a very brief touch on all the assets that get clues.
There's an entire video about these if you really care.
Yeah, so if you go down into the description below, they are like their whole thing. They get clues. They're just how they investigate. Most cost charges. Some are just free, like 6 cents here. But there's a link down in the description where we talk about them all in detail. Check out that because we're not going to talk
If your
about
Mystic
them
wants to
again
get
here.
clues, you're going to want to be playing some of these.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the other ones. We got Drawn to the Flame.
This one used to be a staple, and now it's been a little bit outshined, but it's still a very solid option, I think.
Yeah, I'll still play. I'll still like never be upset about playing Drawn to the Flame, but I just think there are other things to do.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
card's still just
If we're doing
good.
those draft challenges and this came up, I'd probably be like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Plus, it's got that gorgeous Magley Villeneuve
Yeah. Great art.
Live.
art. Villeneuve, whatever. I don't know.
Villeneuve.
What do I look like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Villeneuve.
Oh.
Yeah. It's you'll probably like get out of it, but like if you're planning on like going into storing up trouble, and you can run this and storing up trouble like in like a Luke Robinson deck, just like start with this one and then put those into the storing up troubles. It's like they don't even need to think about what you're upgrading.
Yeah.
It's perfect for
Yeah,
that.
This-
I mean, this also the downside of drawing an encounter card. You're purple.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
very few of them that can actually hurt you.
This is like the scene of the crime for purples.
Yes. Yeah.
Where
It's-
if you don't want to be
yeah.
committing cards and resources to playing the assets because you're Agnes and you're here to kill stuff, but sometimes you might want clues.
Yeah.
This is the place.
It's
to
also an insight, which has some rather niche interactions.
which matters sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm excited. Like in like 5 expansions from now, it's like this card got busted wide open because it's an insight here. All right. Next up here is Read the Signs. Great card. Great card. We've talked
It's got
about it
some
in the
neat flavor
staples.
text.
A grisly future is laid before you. Dare you turn your way?
If an
or
effect
do
or
you-
keyword on
Oh,
your
the trinket text.
That's
Got him.
That's flavor text.
Yeah.
It gives you add your brain to your book, which means number big, as we talked
Oh, yeah.
about. And then because you're a mystic, your brain is your big one. Like how foot is big for rogue, brain is big for mystics. You may ignore any effect or keyword in your location. That happens sometimes, and when it does, it feels great. And then you also discover one additional clue, because that's a big reason why you're playing the card.
Yeah, we play this one more often than Drawn to the Flame, I think, because making tests is less punishing at lower difficulties. We usually play on standard, but you might want to prefer Drawn to the Flame over if you're playing on
Yeah.
hard or expert.
This card is an absolute tank in Circle Undone.
Yep.
Yep.
This where it's... Oh, no, it's not where it's from. Odd.
No, right?
The art
It's a
looks like
little
it should be
strange.
from. It's just like
Yeah.
a witch.
So it's a
Yeah.
little witchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also like really shines in Carcosa, I believe. There's a lot of locations that are like when you discover clues here, you
Yeah.
must discard cards, and you're
Maybe.
like, nah, man, give me the clues.
I haven't played Carcosa in like 9 months to a year or something. It's been a long time since I
Probably
played
since,
Carcosa.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sick. All right. What's up next? We're into the Survivor cards. We have look what I found. It costs 2. If you fail by a skill test while investigating by 2 or less, you discover 2 clues to your location. What's better than not getting clues? Getting clues while failing. The upgraded one, it's 2 clues from among your location and connecting locations, and it's now by 3 or less, which is just like juicy.
it's for foot.
It also commits for a foot. That's
For
true.
a
That is
reason.
true. I think like
It's
it's
just a Survivor thing.
yeah. We just
Committing for more number than that.
they just love it. They're just like put it
Yeah.
on there. I'll
Yeah.
take it. I don't care what it is.
Put the foot on there.
Yeah, that's what I want right now. If you are the flex survivor and you need to kill and get clues, this is a good choice because it gets clues really well.
Yeah.
It's just a good card in Survivor decks, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah. Even if you are not
Flex.
a flex investigator and you are trying to be a clover in red,
Oh, then yeah,
like,
definitely.
why not, man?
Because it's basically just
Yeah.
it's a lucky. It's another lucky that just
Yeah,
costs
it's
a bit more.
just like extra lucky, but also you get to take an extra action that discovers a clue. That's it.
And if you're Stella Clark, you also get to take
Yeah.
an extra action.
And if you're Stella Clark, you get to take a real extra action.
Next one here is we got newspaper. Bryn, I consider you the newspaper
Oh,
expert,
man.
so I'll pass you this one to you.
So the level 0 one kind of sucks. It's just 1, you get +2 book while investigating if you have no clues. Not amazing, though if you're playing a character with like a serviceable book score, like 3 or higher, this is pretty okay, because you will have no clues probably like 3-ish times during a scenario. The upgraded one, though, is where it's really at. The level 2 one, it firstly commits for an extra symbol, which is vaguely relevant to a deck that we're not going to talk about. But you get the same +2 while investigating with no clues, but as a reaction effect, when you would discover a clue, you get an extra 1 if you have no clues. And it doesn't care how you get the clue. Like, it could be by investigating, you could buy it, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Could be a look what I found.
Yeah, like you just get an extra 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good card, and also like sometimes it's like great in scenarios, especially when you know that like have a lot of acts that change, like because or like you know like you have to spend
Yeah.
clues repeatedly and you can just
Yeah.
like trigger it a bunch.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still just a
Or
nice card.
clues like the Vanishing of Leo Harper, where you get to spend your clues whenever you
Yes.
want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This card might be the best card in the game if you're playing Midnight Masks.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Like,
It's
actually,
a lot
though.
of value.
yeah.
This looks so many deductions, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit.
Even when you're not, though, most scenarios are like, you know, get X clues
Spend
2 to
them.
3-ish times.
Yeah.
If this happens 3 times, you need 6 less clues. You're contributing not only your own clues, but somebody else's.
Yep. And yeah, it's basically just like look at that. Like, how many deductions are you looking to play? Usually, like if you play 3, you're like that's
As many
nice.
as I can.
How many
Yeah.
deductions does the one costed asset that's taking up your hand slot need to give you?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's also giving you that many perceptions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. All right. Winging It is next. So this one gets better when you have a sort of synergy. I mean, this one is... You want to play this one when you have synergy that you can like discard it for an additional effect. Because paying 1 to investigate, and if the only way to get in your discard pile, kind of is stinky. But as soon as you can like take advantage of in other ways, like Wendy Adams, Ashcan Pete, Cornered, Patrice, right?
You can use it for some cute stuff with Look What I Found from your hand, where you make the Shroud one less, so you can make it like 2, and then you can't fail by more than 2.
Yeah.
That is kind of cute. That is kind of cute. I mean, I suppose that that's a little bit cute. But this card, if your deck wants to be doing this kind of thing and you can take advantage of it, it's really juicy.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a deduction that costs 1, and then it goes back into your deck, and you can just discard it and do it again, and again and again,
Forever.
and again and again, and
Great
again.
card, Wendy.
Yes. Yeah. But that's most cards, as Bryn always says.
Dude, they could be anything.
It's not that they're all great, it's just like they're all okay.
Yeah. Alright, next up we got Sharp Vision.
It's red deduction.
It's a red deduction. You have to do a bit more work for it than a Seeker would, which makes sense.
Yep.
But the card's great. It commits for 3 book, and if you succeed by 2 or more, which is more the book they give you, discover an additional clue. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Don't fall into the trap where you think this gives you 2 books, it gives you 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone I think I've met who's seen like this style of printing has made that mistake, including us.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, sorry, Brent.
This one also is like a real solid pick if you're playing a Flex Investigator, because it doesn't have to be your basic Investigate action. It can be anybody's.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you're the one capable of passing the Shroud by 2 or more, or if somebody else is. You can still throw this at things to help accelerate the
So
clue
You
discovery.
see your rogue over there with his lockpicks investigating, you're like, here you go, your seeker who's already got like a deduction.
It can't
and you're
be-
like, close it up.
It can't be
do it
committed
for
to a
lockpicks, it's not
lockpicks,
basic,
but,
whatever.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Everything, commit to your seekers thing. Everything.
Yeah, just like throw it,
Everything's
throw it at
very
whatever,
yellow.
you know?
yeah, here's an extra deduction for you, baby, and they're like, thanks. So do we think that's Daryl Simmons?
Yeah.
Oh, so that means this is probably going to be Grete and Daryl Simmons, which means, oh boy, my birthday's coming early
does
whenever he
look
comes.
like the red yellow guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be. Can you imagine if it's just Charlie Kane and everyone's like, what? I'm Charlie Kane, I care about creature ally assets. Alright, second last card here is Mariner's Compass. People might be wondering, but hey, Justin, you guys didn't put Fire Axe on the weapon one, and you said because, like, you know, that works best in, like, Dark Horse, but wouldn't Mariner's Compass work good?
Justin.
But the thing is, Mariner's Compass is just even good, even if you're not doing Dark Horse. It's a very good way to get clues.
How many deductions do you need, Travis?
How many can I have?
Yeah, like if you're allowed to play 30 of them in your deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, can I force learning into 15 more?
Yeah. Can I play a bigger deck, please?
Yeah. But this card, it gets you clues, and then if you have resources that you're not spending on anything else, just freaking put them into this test and get more clues.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, the first time I played this game with my little brother, he was playing a Mariner's Compass Rex deck with Dark Horse.
Oh, baby.
Oh man,
Clues.
Let's go.
that was not right.
Rin's like, that was a danger.
No.
Yeah.
All right, and the last card we have here is Old Keyring, which is just like good.
It's like Flash Relate.
Yeah. Flashlight.
Arguably-
Flashlight.
Yeah.
Arguably better.
Flash Rate.
Yeah.
Like it discards itself, which is often a useful thing.
Yep.
You don't lose the key if it doesn't. It
Yep.
turns out it doesn't just snap and like you're like, oh no.
What do I do now?
Yeah, just it will work twice.
Yep.
If you're running it on locations with 2 Shroud, you almost cannot fail.
Yeah, it actually, like,
Yeah.
you can,
This card's pretty real.
even, like, as, like, any deck where you need to, like, get clues, or even if you just want to pick up clues like a flex, just put this in, and then every time there's a 2-shot location, you say, I'll grab those clues, you guys go do something else.
Yeah, no, like this card is very comparable to Flashlight. Flashlight is one extra use, but like you lose the charge even if you fail.
Yeah.
So Flashlight's better if you're like planning to have a really
Yes.
high book score, but this
Yeah.
is better if you're like,
Low
I got
book.
4 book.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right?
Or even if you
Yeah.
have 2,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
just, like, cheat the Shroud locations.
Yeah. The more likely the more often you think you're going to fail, the better this card is.
The
compared to
true
flashcards.
survivor way.
Also, the more you intend to interact with your graveyard,
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
the better this card is, because it does just throw itself away for free. You don't have to find a way to make that happen.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Well, next week we're going to be talking about Will York again. Speaking of Will York, this goes into his discard pile.
Yeah.
He can just play it again and again and again. And then this time, hope to God there will be no static. As we talk about that.
I'm just gonna rub them.
Yeah. Just, I want to talk about Will York again.
What are you doing? Don't lock.
Huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. It means so much. We'll be back tomorrow with another Arkham Horror video. Have a good one. And as always, GG's!